What's up, everybody? Brett Okamoto from ESPN, joined by the one and only Francis Ngannou, who joins us from the rooftop of his home in Cameroon, which I got to say is probably one of the coolest spots anybody has ever done a Zoom call with me. You're over there, you're at home, you're in Cameroon. What are you doing? What are you doing at
Yes,
home?
sir.
Visiting people, or what's the nature of the trip?
Uh, I think it's family. I'm I'm out here now. I keep working out here, but just came back to visit, stay a little bit since wasn't into too much. I haven't really set up what's next, which is gonna be probably boxing, but haven't set up a training camp yet. I think that's what I'm trying to do right now. Looking for coaches, for additional coaches to add on my main coach.
When you do train for your training camp, it will be in Vegas. That's where your training camps are, or you don't know?
It depends where the fight gonna take place.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a lot to talk about, and we'll get to, potentially your next move. But I do want to, if you're okay with it, we'll start with what happened last week. What was last week like for you? That was your championship, and the UFC officially moved on and had that fight with Jon Jones and Ciryl gone. What was it like, kind of watching that from afar?
Well, he wasn't my championship. He was a championship. It was UFC championship. Um, it was a great fight. You know, obviously, I I I understood why sometimes people get frustrated on my fight being very short, because I get frustrated on that fight as well. I'll be like, man, I wanted this fight. I wanted to see more.
Yeah.
But it was a great fight overall.
Yeah.
Then personally, as I said, it wasn't my championship. Uh, I don't take anything in life that that much. Nothing is mine. Um, not even my breath. So I live a very peaceful life.
Yeah. So you didn't, um, did you, did, I guess it doesn't sound like it upset you at all, but it just didn't, did it
No,
feel
no,
like,
no,
did it feel like there
no.
was something going on that like you kind of wish that you would have been a part of? Like, did you have that feeling at all during the week?
Listen, since almost what 3 years now that I've been trying to fight Jon Jones after I fought Rosenstruck during the pandemic. I think we even went on social media a little bit, and then that fight never happened. Or the promise, or the attempt, even the promise for the winner between Stipe and I that's supposed to fight Jon Jones, you know, um, but he never happened. So I did everything to have that fight. Didn't just have it, but at the end, I just felt like that was a bargain to like keep me, maybe do something that I don't want just because I want that fight. Yes, I wanted that fight, but not at any cost.
Mm-hmm. How did it feel to when your name popped up occasionally? When obviously Dana White said that, well, Francis will never fight here. We tried to sign him for a year. It's not going to happen. He's never going to fight
Hey,
here.
I don't care about what Dana White said. That was my call, not his call. So he has to make his own amends with that. I made my amends. I'm good.
Yeah.
So wish him to do the same.
Yeah. Where were you when you watched the fight?
Okay.
You put up
No, I
that
was I
video.
was I was right here. I was in my apartment down, one floor down.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's when I watched the fight with my brothers and some friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I
What
think it's the same spot that I'm gonna be watching Usman fight too.
Yeah, yeah. What
Yeah.
what were your thoughts as I mean, like you said, it was a very, very short fight. What did you think of the performances of each guy?
The performances of each guy. It's very hard to say that because we didn't have a chance to see a lot from Ciryl. Um, but I think Jon Jones has a great game plan that he executed pretty good. He came out there and was very like, he knew that as soon as he grabbed, he has a hold on Ciryl. There's a 80% of a chance that the fight is over. So he went out there and I think he also knew that if as long as the fight stays, it's gonna be hard for him because it's a little heavier and stuff. So he has a very good game plan. He was just to grab Ciryl, and as soon as he grabbed him, he couldn't get out of his nails.
Your reaction to it, it was almost like you were like genuinely like happy for him. I mean, you didn't. Were there any emotions attached to it when you watched it?
Listen, doesn't matter what's going on, doesn't matter what people say. I'm in peace. I'm happy for myself. And I wish all of them the best. You know, I wish all of them to have whatever they deserve because I think the athletes did a lot for, do a lot for the sport, and they deserve whatever could be best out there for them. So, and at the end of the day, both they have an opportunity, they have a great fight, whether it's Ciryl, because we can just not because he lost a fight doesn't mean like he didn't do great. You know, he made his way all the way there. Good for him, you know, and I know what it takes to be a professional athlete, basically at this level. I know how much of a sacrifice you put in every day. So yes, I'm happy. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
You know, basically that yes, the fact that I'm in peace with me, I'm happy for myself. Make me. I have no personal issue. I have no anger against anybody. So yes.
Yeah.
I was just happy watching the fight, laying back at the fan and watching that.
Like. That's what it seemed like. Do you think?
But although I wanted that fight to stay longer, man. Gosh.
Do you think Jon's next fight against Stipe will be a little longer? Do you think we'll see more?
Oh no, yeah. Jon can do what he did to Ciryl to Stipe. Stipe is a more well-rounded fighter, and he's very wise. He has a lot of tools in his back, and he can see. He has a lot of experience, and he can see a lot of stuff come far away. You know, he can do the same mistake as Ciryl, and he also has a good wrestling. So it's gonna be a fun one.
How would you
more way around it?
How would you predict that fight?
How would I predict that one? Depend, but it seems that I don't know. Maybe I'll give Stipe. I don't know. I might be wrong. I might change my mind in a couple of weeks, but I think like maybe I'll give Stipe a slight favorite.
Yeah.
Very slight, but I don't know.
Do you think like in 10 years, 20 years, when we talk about the fights that never came together in the UFC, that this one could be the biggest one, that Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou will go down as like the biggest fight that never happened?
I don't know about that. What I do know is that whether it's in 10 years, 20 years, I will be telling myself that I did everything that I could have done to have that fight, and I did everything that was good for me. You know, that's all what I know. I can only control so much, so I stick on what I can control, and what I can control, I can control. That's just life. I mean, my whole life, I'd just be able to navigate my way, you know, and just do what I can control.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very simple thing to say, and I could think it's a harder thing to do. Do you?
But if you find a way to do it, I think you live a peaceful life, an easy life, you know. Yeah.
So you'll be good either way, but I do want to ask you, do you think that history will get it right? Do you think history will remember this as like, oh, Francis walked away from this fight because he couldn't get a contract that he wanted? Or do you think that over time, the story will be, you know, what Jon is saying is that like, oh, he ran from me. He didn't want this fight. He never wanted this fight. How do you think people remember it?
We know Jon Jones with his drama, you know. I think he's just being dramatic He's been out for how long? 3 years and something. And I've been calling him. I remember even after I fought Stipe, then I say he should, if it's him watching that fight, he should move down to 185. You know, but I don't take that seriously. You know, the only reason, there is not a fight on earth that I will back down for. I don't care. I go there, and whatever happened. It's the sport. And definitely Jon Jones is not the guy. I mean, he might be the best fighter ever, but he's not the guy that I'm running away from. Nah, not him. I'll fight Jon Jones twice a month.
You did tweet on the night of the fight. You did say congrats, Johnny boy, and then you said the heavyweight king. What kind of message were you trying to get through when you said that?
No, I was just saying congrats. Yeah. I just signed my message. So feel, he can know from where the message is coming from.
You feel like in your heart you're the top heavyweight in the world, and that won't change regardless of what happens. Like, you're the best heavyweight in the world.
Not that won't change, but right now, yes. But I can't just sit here and say that won't change. Not being active or not doing anything, you know. So listen, I'm not arguing somebody's sport here. I'm not fighting. I think a lot of people, they understand, they pick on the wrong fight. They're mistaken what exactly is the fight here. And I'm not fighting any of those guys. I'm not trying to stand into anybody's way, but I'm just trying to stand up for myself and defend what's right for me, which doesn't have to be against any of those guys. It's the sport, man. As they said, it's a sport, and I'm a sport man. I can take the heat and I can roll with it. It's life, and that's the beauty of sport.
Yep. Do you think that even though you weren't able to get what you wanted in the contract and you and the UFC have parted ways, do you think you are making a difference? Like even though you weren't successful in getting them to give you what you wanted, do you think do you think it's like I guess that's what I'm asking for, like, is it in vain, or do you think it is promoting some of the changes you want?
I don't know if I will say it's in vain or not. It's very hard to say. What I do know, as I said earlier, is that I can only control what I do myself. You know, I can't control what other people do. I can control what is not under my control, you know. And either way, I'm going to have to keep fight for what I believe, you know. I've been having a discussion with different promotion out there, and a lot of those promotion, I already consider some of those conditions, which is a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I think there is a progress. I mean, they know that was a reason, and they already come up with some compromise, like, okay, we can do this. Instead, we might not fulfill all of that, but we can start with this, which is already, I think, I would not say it's in vain. I think I'm having a result, no matter what.
So I want to get to obviously what's next for you. But my last question on Jon, I have to ask, man, and this is not drama. This is not trash talking. I really want you to tell me, what do you think would have happened had you guys fought? Like, how would that fight have gone?
Listen, the same as every fight. In a fight, everything can happen in the fight. I can sit here and tell you that I would have knocked Jon Jones out, and which is what I will intend to. But that fight, since it never happened, you will never know. Everybody can now make a perfect ending for himself and say whatever it could have happened, but you don't know what happened in the fight. Yes, I would tell you I would have knocked him out, but he will tell you something else. And then when you get in the fight, in the actual fight, it's something different. So we can't really know. Things never happen.
Yep. Yep. So enough about what's not going to happen. Let's talk about what's going to happen. Where are things at with your negotiations? Who have you been talking to, and where do things currently sit?
Oh, since my priority right now, my next step has to be in boxing. I want to do like one boxing match first, then maybe go back to MMA because I still enjoy MMA. I still want to do, and I think it's like not in the easiest, but today is my DNA, just to fight MMA. So I do believe that I still have couple fight in me, and couple fight in the boxing because I want to do couple fight in boxing. Um, but starting with what is the first one, we are working on some stuff. Hopefully, in a month or two, I will be able to come out with an announcement, uh, with a potential fight dates and location and everything. But it's just like we just started from the trash. So yeah, he's taking a little longer than I expected, but he's coming along.
Yeah.
Big thing come with time.
Yeah, definitely. Can you give us any kind of hints or clues on the opponents that you're considering in a boxing match?
Oh, I'm considering everybody. Like I talked to Eddie Hearn about Anthony Joshua. Uh, I don't I don't know what's gonna happen, but Anthony Joshua has a fight, so I can just sit here right now and be focusing on it. Maybe down the road because I do believe that I really want to do multiple boxing fight, and then but the most that we have spoken is Deontay Wilder team. Yes, we've been having some exchanges and basically come into some sort of a verbal agreement that we want to fight each other. We want to fight two fight. We want to fight uh, maybe one of those fight in Africa, or maybe two of those fight in Africa, which would be massive, which would be great. Um, Yes, next year, I think it's August next year is this 50th anniversary of Rainbow in the Jungle. And I think that would be an opportunity to do something massive in Africa,
Oh,
a big event.
all of
So
that would be
yes,
amazing.
we are looking in something around that timeline
Yeah.
as well for the potential second fight, which would be in my opinion still in boxing.
I know that you're not afraid of a challenge, obviously, but not walking away because you want to continue in MMA, but going from MMA to boxing and then fighting one of those top guys in, what would it be, like a 10-round fight, a 12-round fight? I mean, that's really difficult, right? I mean, they like
It is really difficult. It's really
ideally
difficult.
from a competitive standpoint, you'd be taking a
He
lot of
has
4-round fights, 6-round
Yeah,
fights.
he has nothing to do. He has nothing to do with the MMA. That's what I was saying. Like today, MMA to me seems like very easy. I know how to manage MMA fight. I've been there. I go there every day, do the same thing. But boxing is a new challenge. But remember, even at the beginning, MMA for me was just a challenge as boxing, even not if it's not even bigger. So I don't back down for challenges.
Mhm. Mhm. Man, I think that's about it. I guess the only other question I would have is that you say you want to go back to MMA. Do you think you'll figure that out before you box? Like, will we know what your future in MMA is going to look like in terms of a promoter or anything before you box? Like, or will those happen with that? You'll address that after you box?
There's not a rush. I've been having some serious conversation with PFL, also with ONE FC, not too much with Bellator, but there's not a rush since my first fight has to be in boxing. So that's where my focus is at right now, you know. But yeah, if I have some good condition, if I have a reason, I think there is a right contract, with the right term, maybe, I have no problem make a agreement before step into a boxing fight.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you're doing great. Seems like you got options. You're sitting on a rooftop in Cameroon. Is it still?
We always have options, but we don't know most of the time. We believe that we are stuck because we have a one size view. We don't see the big pictures, the big picture, but we always have options.
Is it still, does it still feel wild when you go back to Cameroon and you go to that sand mine? Does that feel crazy every single time, or have you gotten used to it, that you've left there and you've come back, or is it still just like a real kind of powerful thing every time?
Yeah, I think more like nostalgia. I've been there for so many years, and I remember what was going through my mind every single time, and the same thing for like over a decade. So then when I go there, it's kind of like refreshing my mind all the time. He also reminds me why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it's like having a step back to jump farther. Yeah, I enjoy that, and it's also a good workout though. While I was there, didn't know that it was a good workout, but today I realized it's a hell of a workout.
Yeah. Yeah. It's different when it's like work and working out. That's two totally different things.
Yes, you went from work to become a workout, but cool workout. Because shoveling that sand, loading the truck, man, it's not as easy as it was before.
Yeah, it looks tough, man. Well, it's great. It's great talking to you, man. It's great seeing you do so well. And I would love to see you box in Africa this year or next year. I mean, that is something I would really, really love to go witness. So
hopefully that will happen. Well, we are really excited about that part. I always want to fight in Africa, whether it's boxing or MMA. And one of the things that I was trying to put is to have an event in Africa, whether it's with the UFC or, but apparently it can't be with the UFC anymore. But I always want to have an event in Africa, not only like it's like fighting at home, and also give my people a show, an opportunity to see all those big events, give those young kids that believe in the sport, give them more hope that it's possible and it can happen sometime down the road, So, and I think I'm still gonna do it. I'm still working in the direction to bring something in Africa, and I will do it. That's my mission, my personal mission.
That's awesome, man. Well, enjoy home, enjoy your family, and I'll stay in touch with you. We'll see you when you get back into Vegas, and we'll be seeing you later this year with whatever you're doing, boxing ring, MMA, whatever it is.
Okay, thank you, Brett. Have a good one.
All right,
nice talking to you. Bye.
Francis. We'll see you.